Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into the essentials of website design and development. We've looked at info from an Orange County web design agency, and, well, the goal is to pull out the key things, what makes a website really work for a business.
Right. Cutting through maybe some of the jargon.
Exactly. Focusing on what's crucial for building that strong online foundation without getting too bogged down in the tech speak.
Yeah, makes sense. We're basically looking at what makes a successful business website tick. And our source here, this agency, they've got like 22 years of experience.
Wow.
Yeah, and they really stress sites that aren't just pretty, but are, SEO optimized and actually convert visitors.
Okay, so important.
Definitely. So let's dive in. When we talk about website design and website development, what's really the difference there?
Okay, yeah, good question. The way they break it down is pretty helpful. Design is basically the look and feel, right? How people interact with your site.
The user-facing stuff.
Exactly. The visuals, colors, fonts, images, all that. But it's also really fundamentally about the user experience.
Right.
Is it easy to navigate? Can people find what they need quickly?
Intuitive.
Yes, intuitive. And then there's responsive design, which is just crucial. Now, meaning the site looks and works great on any device, whether it's a desktop, tablet, or, importantly, a phone.
Which is where most people are browsing now.
Over half of all traffic.
Uh-huh.
So if your site tanks on mobile,
Yeah.
you're losing a huge chunk of potential customers.
Yeah, definitely.
And design also covers branding, naturally. Making sure your logo, your colors are all consistent. Building that recognition.
Right.
And finally, it's about presenting content well. Arranging the text, images, videos so they grab attention and get the message across clearly.
Okay, so that's the design side. The aesthetics and usability. What about development?
Right. Development is the engine under the hood. The technical part that makes the design actually function.
Got it.
This is where coding comes in. HTML, CSS, JavaScript for what you see, the front end. Then you've got the back end work. That's server-side stuff, databases, keeping everything running behind the scenes.
And things like content management systems. Right.
Yeah.
CMS.
Like WordPress. Exactly. WordPress is a big one they mention. Think of a CMS as like a dashboard that lets you update your site, content, text, images, blog posts, without needing to code.
Makes it manageable for the business owner?
Totally.
Yeah.
And WordPress, for example, has tons of plugins, so you can add all sorts of features, customizations.
E-commerce too, I imagine. Selling stuff online.
Yep, that's development too. Integrating shopping carts, secure payment systems. And critically, security measures are part of development, protecting the site, user data, plus performance, making sure it loads fast.
Okay. So design is the look and feel. Development is making it work securely and efficiently.
Precisely. Two sides of the same coin, really. You can't have one without the other performing well. A beautiful site that's broken is useless.
And a functional site that looks terrible won't build trust.
Right. They have to work together.
Exactly. And when they do work together well, the benefits for business are pretty significant. The agency highlights quite a few.
Okay, like what?
Well, first off, brand image. A professional, smooth website just screams credibility, builds trust right away.
Yeah, that first impression matters online. A lot.
Definitely. Then, improved user experience. If people can easily find stuff and do what they came to do, they'll stick around longer.
Lower bounce rates, right? People not just landing and leaving immediately.
Exactly. Lower bounce rates, more engagement, more conversions, happier customers. It all links together.
And that leads to better visibility too, doesn't it? SEO.
Absolutely. A well-structured, user-friendly site is much more likely to rank well in Google searches, which means more organic traffic.
Free traffic, basically. People finding you naturally.
Right, which gives you a serious competitive edge. If your site offers a better experience than your competitors, you're winning.
They also mentioned scalability, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that's key. A properly developed site isn't static. It can grow with your business. You can add new features, more content, handle more traffic as you expand.
That makes sense. And you can track everything with analytics.
Oh, yeah. Integrating tools like Google Analytics gives you so much data. What pages people visit, how long they stay, where they come from.
So you can actually see what's working and what's not.
Precisely. It lets you make informed decisions, refine your site, your marketing. It's a constant feedback loop.
And it's cost-effective marketing too, right? Your website's always on.
204/7 salesmen. Reaching a global audience potentially without constant ad spend like some other channels. And ultimately, it's about driving conversions.
Getting people to take that next step, buy something, fill out a form, call you.
Exactly. Clear calls to action, easy pathways to convert. That's the goal.
Okay, so if you're just starting out or maybe looking to redo your site, What are the absolute, like, core components you need?
A good question. According to our source, there are a few fundamentals. First, your domain name.
Your web address, yourbusiness.com.
Yep, your unique spot online. Then you need web hosting. That's the service that stores your website files and makes them live on the internet.
Like the digital land your website sits on.
Kind of, yeah. Then, obviously, the web design itself, the look, the layout, navigation.
And the content, of course. The actual info. Text, videos, maybe forms.
Right. What people are actually coming to see or do. Images are crucial, too. Photos, logos, graphics, they bring it to life. And they mention something that's maybe less obvious but really important. The sitemap.
Oh, okay. What's that for?
Well, it helps users navigate, sure, but it's also vital for planning the site structure. How many pages? How do they link together?
Ah, so it helps define the scope of the project. We're getting quotes and stuff.
Exactly. It helps you and the developer get on the same page about what needs to be built. Really important for accurate planning and pricing.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, you mentioned this agency works with lots of different industries. It's interesting how the needs change, right?
Totally. Let's take a small business, say a local neighborhood cafe. What does their website need to do?
Right. What's key for them?
Well, showcasing their menu, obviously. Maybe some nice photos of the food or the atmosphere. Displaying customer reviews is huge for local trust.
Social proof.
Exactly. Maybe online table bookings, advertising events or specials, even loyalty programs or selling gift cards or their own coffee beans online.
So it becomes a real hub for their local customers.
Precisely. Extends their physical presence online. Now, what about, say, entrepreneurs or freelancers? Their needs are different.
Yeah, probably more about showcasing work.
Exactly. It's often their online portfolio. Showing off skills, past projects, establishing credibility is key.
And making it easy to contact them, I guess.
Definitely. And many use it for a blog, too. Share insights, attract clients through demonstrating expertise.
Makes sense. And then you scale up to large corporations. The website's role must get way more complex.
Oh, absolutely. For big companies, the website is often the main way they communicate brand values, showcase a wide range of products or services.
Investor relations, maybe. News. Careers.
All of that. Customer engagement, managing vast amounts of information, ensuring brand consistency across maybe different divisions. It's a much bigger beast.
And they get really specific with some sectors. Like healthcare, they list dentist website design, urgent care, mental health. What's unique there?
Well, in healthcare, the site has to be super patient-friendly, easy to navigate, but also highly optimized for search because people are actively looking for specific services.
Right, you search dentist near me.
Exactly. And security and compliance, like iPay, are absolutely critical. You need trust, clear info on services, easy appointment booking. It's quite specialized.
And food and beverage, bakeries, catering. I'm guessing visuals are key.
Oh, completely. Mouth-watering photos, easy menus to browse, and increasingly, e-commerce is vital. Ordering cakes online, booking catering.
Yeah, I can see that. They even list specific home repair trades, plumbers, electricians, landscapers. What's the angle there?
For them, it's about showcasing expertise quickly and making contact really easy, especially for urgent jobs.
Like a leaky pipe. You need that number fast.
Right. Prominent contact info, service areas, maybe a request quote form. Building trust through testimonials or project photos is also big.
And legal services too. Family law, personal injury.
Yeah, there the focus shifts again. Professionalism, trustworthiness, providing clear, informative content, building confidence in their expertise.
So it's clear that a one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work.
Not at all.
Now, this agency talks a lot about following industry best practices. What does that actually mean? What should businesses look out for?
Okay, yeah, that's important. One major area is accessibility compliance, making sure the site is usable by people with disabilities.
How does that work?
Things like adding descriptive alt text to images so screen readers can describe them, ensuring good color contrast so text is readable, making sure you can navigate the whole site using just a keyboard.
That sounds important for inclusivity and probably legally required sometimes.
Often, yes. And it just makes your site usable for more people. Another big one is adhering to Google's guidelines for SEO.
Right. Playing nice with Google.
Pretty much. Clean code, fast loading speed, huge factor. Users hate slow sites. And so does Google on being mobile friendly. Google prioritizes mobile now.
Mobile first indexing, they call it.
That's the one.
Yeah.
They also mention schema markup.
Schema. What's that?
It's like Adding extra labels to your content that search engines understand better. So for a product, you can mark up the price, the reviews, availability.
Ah, and that helps create those rich snippets in search results, like star ratings showing up.
Exactly. Makes your listing stand out. Can really improve click-through rates.
Okay. And finally, they mentioned integrating Google Analytics and Search Console. Why are those so vital?
They're fundamental for understanding performance. Analytics tells you everything about your traffic, who's visiting, what they do, where they came from.
And Search Console.
That focuses more on your site's health in Google search. Sees how you're ranking, if there are technical errors Google found, what search terms people use to find you.
So using that data helps you improve things.
Constantly. You make informed decisions, optimize the user experience, boost your rankings. It's not just about pleasing Google, it's about making a better site for your actual users.
Right. Now, a website isn't an island, is it? How does it fit in with other marketing stuff a business does?
Oh, it's absolutely central. They stress how the website is the hub. Think about SEO, your website's structure, speed, content. That is the foundation of your SEO.
Can't do SEO without a decent site.
Pretty much impossible. And for pay-per-click ads like Google Ads,
The landing page matters.
critically, your ads drive traffic to your website landing pages. If those pages aren't optimized, don't match the ad, or make it hard to convert, you're just wasting ad spend.
Makes sense. What about content marketing blogs, articles?
Your website is the platform. It hosts your blog, your case studies, your videos. Good site structure makes it easy for people to find and consume that content, which builds authority and helps SEO.
And social media, how does that connect?
Social media builds community and awareness, but the website is usually where the conversion happens. You drive traffic from social to your site.
And maybe have social share buttons on the site.
Exactly. Encourage sharing. You might also embed social feeds on your site. For email marketing, your website is where you capture lead sign-up forms, offering free guides.
Lead magnets.
Right, building that list. Then you use email to nurture leads and drive them back to the website to buy or learn more. It all connects back to the site.
Okay, let's talk money, cost. What should businesses expect to invest?
Yeah, the million-dollar question, sometimes literally. The agency points out it varies a lot. Depends on design complexity, number of pages, special features.
Like e-commerce, maybe custom calculators?
Exactly. They give a rough range. A basic site might start at a few $100s. But complex, custom builds can easily run into several thousand or much more.
So quite a range. How do you get a real number?
They really recommend getting a personalized quote. They do have a cost calculator on their site, which is neat, but it's just an estimate.
A starting point.
Yeah. You need a proper discussion about your specific goals and needs to get an accurate figure.
Got it. Okay, finally, they have an FAQ section. What kind of common questions come up?
Well, one is, what makes a good web design for local businesses?
And the answer.
Easy navigation, mobile-friendly is key, optimized for local search results, conversion-focused, making it easy to call or inquire, clear calls to action, and fast loading times. People want local info fast.
Makes sense. Do they only work with WordPress?
That's another common one. They specialize in WordPress because it's flexible, but they say they can work with other CMS platforms too, depending on the project.
Good to know they're flexible.
Mm-hmm.
What about after the site is built? Maintenance.
Yes, they offer ongoing maintenance plans, updates, security checks, keeping things running smoothly, which is pretty important.
Definitely. And they guarantee it'll be mobile friendly.
Absolutely. They say that's essential and built in from the start.
Okay. How long does it take? That must be a big question.
Yeah, always. And the answer is, it depends. Simple sites, maybe a few weeks. Complex ones, several months. They provide a timeline up front.
And they offer help later on if needed.
Yep. Ongoing support is available. They also clarify hosting. You can choose your own, or they can recommend providers. And they explain what a CMS is, positioning WordPress as a good, user-friendly option for managing content without code.
Okay, so pulling this all together, our deep dive based on this agency's insights.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway is that a well-designed and well-developed website isn't just nice to have. It's a really crucial business investment.
More than just looking good.
Much more. It affects your brand image, user experience, search visibility. Your bottom line, really. Understanding the difference between design and development, thinking about your specific industry, following best practices, that's how you build a site that actually delivers results.
Right. So thinking about your own website, it's often that very first interaction someone has with your business. How confident are you really that it's representing your brand well and actually working hard for you?
Mm-hmm.
Based on what we've talked about today, maybe what's just one small thing you could explore further to make that digital first impression even stronger? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.